Namaste, Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namo Namaha, Jai Ganesha. Hindu Dharma 10 शब्द में एकम योगा, दो द्वि आत्मन ब्रह्मन, तीन सत चित आनंद, चतुर कर्म भक्ति राज ज्ञान, पंच शैव वैष्णव शाक्त स्मार्त नास्तिका, षड न्याय विशेषिका मीमांसा वेदांत सांख्य योगा, सप्त मूलधारा स्वारस्थान मणिपुर अनाहत विसुद्ध ajna sahasvara, 8 astang Vedas, Agamas, Tantras, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Tirukurao, Tirumantram, Puranas, 9 Ritta Dharma, Swadharma, Ashrama Dharma, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprast, Sannyas, Sannyasin, 10 Bhumi, Udaka, Agni, Vayu, Akasha, Granaja, Rasa, Chakshusa, Sparana, Shrautra. ये हिंदू धर्म है 10 शब्द में. So, Hindus, brothers and sisters, it's very important that when, for our own edification, obviously, but when people ask us, what is Hinduism all about? In what do Hindus believe? We need to be able to step up to the plate and give them a succinct answer, from a simple answer to a more complex one, depending upon the time we have with someone and or their interest. Many times people just want a simple answer, and we can't be vague about this, Hindus. I mean, if you ask a Christian or a Muslim, for example, about what they believe in or in what they believe, they'll give you very direct answers. It'll be Jesus, God, the Bible, and heaven. Or in the case of the Muslims, it's Muhammad, the Quran, and Allah. But very often when Hindus are asked, even what is their religion, they don't quite know how to answer that. Remember, we're Hindus. We do yoga, all of it, to reach Atmana. Hindu, yoga, Atman. That's what binds us together as a united Hindu family. So we need to be very succinct when people ask us, what is Hinduism all about? We need to be able to answer them. So that's why here at the ashram we created this Hindu Dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion. They're all applicable. Don't shy away from the word religion. If you do, you're being dishonest or disingenuous, because we've all been incorporated under religious organizations. And think about it. If we deny that we are of the Hindu religion, we can be then removed from all the textbooks on comparative religions, interfaith dialogues. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot again and again and again. We've got to learn our lessons sooner or later. So we developed this Hindu Dharma in 10 words or less so that you can give a simple answer or a more complex answer, depending, again, upon the time you have with someone or their interest. So, when someone asks you, and beliefs are important, please. We have quote-unquote gurus like JV who run around saying we have no beliefs, which is actually a belief. That's like those who say do not judge, which is actually a judgment. If we don't have any beliefs, I mean, we don't have any meaningful substance. And people will just say, well, see, these Hindus, they don't even know if they're Hindus or not. They don't even know what they believe in. So then, we can't take them seriously. Or we can take whatever we want from them, like yoga, like it's been done throughout the ages. This is our fault for not being lovingly firm, like Balaganapati behind us here, who stood up to protect his Mataji, and we're coming into another Ganesh Chaturthi. And we always put Ganesha first, do the Om chant, beseech Bhumi Mata, remember he was created off the earth of his Mataji, and stand up for the Dharma. And you're not always going to win. Sometimes you're going to lose, you're going to get criticized. Right? But if you're talking to a mature person, you can have a dialogue. So when people ask you, what is Hinduism? Remember, just to back up a little bit, remember, belief and faith are very important, and we all have them. The point is, we don't want to just stay in the initial stages of belief or assumption, which is a hypothesis, the scientific method, and we don't want to just stay in faith as hope. That's the beginning, but we want to carry those through to a conviction and a full faith or a guarantee, a visivas or a shraddha, if you will. Very important. Belief and faith. So, when someone asks you, oh, what do Hindus believe in? Or what's Hinduism all about? You can say in one word, yoga. Right there, that's going to put people right back on their heels. Because unfortunately, in today's world, yoga has come to mean a physical exercise and or a vague spirituality or some kind of universalism. It is so confused, and that's our fault again. Remember, the Sanskrit Tamil Hindu word yoga, yogam, actually has nothing to do with the physical body at all. That aspect, the asanas, is supposed to be called hatha yoga. And that was the one yoga that was never meant for display. Listen to some of our other podcasts and watch our videos where we go into more detail about this. So, yoga. Now watch how these progress. So Hinduism in two words, Atman and Brahman. Now you're defining this Sanskrit Tamil Hindu word yoga. Yuj, Atman, Brahman, Cha. That's the definition of yoga. Interesting, we asked, quote unquote, the yoga teachers of today, two questions. What language is the word yoga? And then define it. And then what's the meaning of the word yoga? And I guarantee you they won't even be able to answer this. Remember, the language is Sanskrit, and Tamil, of course. But Sanskrit is, by definition, the ancient Arya, another confused term, which means noble, the ancient Arya or noble language of the Hindus. It's a religious language. So every word that's thrown about today very casually, karma, mantra, guru, etc., chakras, kundalini, if a person is honest and ethical, they have to recognize this is all about the Hindu religion. So, the definition of the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga is, in Sanskrit, right? Sometimes people will just say union, but what does that mean? That's vague. It could be anything. It could be teachers' union, teamsters' union, sexual union. What does that mean? No, Yuj, Atman, Brahman, Cha. This is the meaning of the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga. And in Tamil, they say yogam. Yuj, to yoke, Y-O-K-E. To one's Atmana, and then Brahman. Cha is and. Yuj, Atman, Brahman, Cha. It's the very meaning of the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga. So that's Hinduism in two words. Now you have to define Atman and Brahman. See how we go beautifully step by step, pade, sutra by sutra, thread by thread. Hinduism in three words, Sat, Chit, Ananda, which we of course combine into one word, but it is three words, Sat, Chit, Ananda, which fully describes what is the Atmana. The Atmana is pure consciousness, pure existence, Sat, which then comes to mean truth, Sat. Pure energy, sound energy, light energy, which becomes the light of knowledge, Chid or Chit, either way. And then the Ananda, the bliss. And this is really the science of life. From pure existence, pure consciousness, we have now the Big Bang of creation. So we have Chid or Chit, the energy of sound and light. And then that becomes heat, which translates into the human emotion of bliss or love. Love is a warm experience. Sat, Chit, Ananda is description of creation itself and also of E equals mc squared. Energy, matter, would be the Sat, and light, Chid, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So Hinduism in three words, Sat, Chit, Ananda, defining Atmana. Then you could go into the term Brahman and explain to people, and especially to your fellow Hindus, that this is not God. Please, that is the Christian term for the one male creator being, and only in a Christian context. You don't want to use that word, folks. It's dishonest. If we want people to use our Sanskrit Tamil words properly, we need to respect theirs. We don't believe in God. That's the Anglo-Saxon understanding from their point of view of a one, only one. Male, as opposed to goddess. Creator, being, noun. Don't use that word. It's not your word. You're not a Christian. Christians will never use Brahman, Shiva, Vishnu. Certainly not Durga, Kali. We need to respect that. And don't make it a superficial term, God, because then it becomes superficial. Then it's not profound anymore. Isn't it supposed to be profound to the Christians? So leave it to them. So Brahman is our word for the neuter term. It's a neuter term. For the greater sources of Sat Chit Ananda, of which we are all an individual source, or a Jivatma. That's why we say Jivatma and Paramatma. So, beautiful. We are Hindus and we do yoga. And the meaning of yoga is to yoke to our Atmana. And we know that the Atmana is Sat Chit Ananda, or Jyoti, Shakti, Ananda, Shanti. It's love and light and energy. Om, this are we, with emotions, mind, and body. And then we get absorbed in a greater source of this Sat Chit Ananda, which we Hindus call Brahman, neuter term. And it's beautiful, Brahman, because it comes from the root Bri, which means to expand. So it's the Big Bang, the creation itself, the Big Bang. So, Hinduism in 4 words now. This is really relevant because it's imperative that when we use the word yoga, the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga, we use a prefix to define how we Hindus are seeking and achieving this Atmadarshana, this realization of our Atmana. And remember, Atmana is not the same as soul. Soul comes from the Greek psyche, and it's still connected to the mind. Atmana is not the mind, thank goodness, nor the body, nor the emotions, temporarily inhabiting like a vehicle this body, mind, and emotions, but will transcend it, certainly at physical death. And actually we do it every night when we go into the no-thingness of deep sleep and in the depths of contemplation. So it's important that we use the prefix to define how we are yoking, joining to this Atmana, the 4 classic yogas: karma, bhakti, raja, jnana, or sometimes yana. Karma, bhakti, raja, jnana, the 4 classic yogas. Karma yoga, Hindu ethics, foundational, it's first and foremost. Bhakti yoga, Hindu devotions. Remember, never confuse generalities and specifics. Devotion is general. Bhakti yoga is very specific. That's Hindu. Just as Mass is very specific. It's devotion, but it's Christian and specifically Catholic Christian devotions. Then we go into Raja Yoga, which are Hindu contemplations. Remember, the English word meditation simply means to concentrate, and you can concentrate or meditate on anything. But when it's in the context of something to do with your inner essence, the more appropriate English word would be contemplation, to go within, con, the temple, contemplum, contemplation. But we Hindus say Raja Yoga. So don't fall into the trap that many Hindus do when they use the phrase yoga and meditation. That's very confusing, right? What does that mean? First of all, you're combining a Sanskrit word and an English word, and they don't combine properly here. And it's setting up the mindset to people that yoga is simply about the Hatha Yoga asanas. So if one is not doing Hindu Dharma, the Hindu Yoga Dharma, right? If they want to have a class in stretching and relaxation and meditation or concentration, that's fine. But for us as Hindus, it would be Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga, not yoga and meditation. And remember again, Hatha Yoga was never supposed to be out there on display. So we unfortunately see many Hindus falling into the trap of just using the word yoga to mean asana or Hatha Yoga. And they often use the phrase yoga and meditation. It's a very confused phrase. It's not appropriate. So again, if you're teaching within a Hindu context and you're a Hindu, then you can say Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. But again, remember, the wisdom of Hatha Yoga, not on display. And we've talked about that before in other videos. You can go back and review that. So it's Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. If one is just teaching a class in stretching and relaxation and meditation, concentration, that's fine. They should do that. That's really what an honest person should do. They should get out of this phony yoga business or become Hindus. there's two options. Well, three options. They can either stay in the yoga movement, or they can, let me put the speaker back on here. They can stay in the phony yoga movement, or they can just get out of it and just do stretching and relaxation classes and meditation concentration. Fine. They charge money for that. So, sorry. Little technical